Überdenken. As you likely know, Frozen 2 is set to come out very soon. To date, there have been 2 trailers released, and countless leaks, hints, and other things, many of which you are likely unaware of. So here are all the hints I've collected. After listing them, I will state my conclusions. Starting with the 2 trailers for Frozen 2, from the very start, we see Elsa is on a black pebble beach. The real-world location for this is Reykjanes, Iceland, and I'm sorry for how much I mispronounced that. Up till now, the entire first movie was recorded in or near Norway. Or so we thought. In the very next scene, we see ice crystals in the air, all with symbols matching ice or water, earth, fire, and air, all of which are displayed just outside the Arendelle castle. Right after that, we have Kristoff riding Sven in a herd. They are running through what seems to be the birch forest just north of Arendelle. Next, Anna is in Iceland, at first bunched in an upward fetal position, then jumping across a dark mountain-like cliff, themed like it's in Iceland. After that, we have Olaf and Elsa in a low plant area, surrounded by pink fire. My guess is that they are in the birch forest north of Arendelle. Then we see 2 new characters, and one being flung in the air. After that, Elsa, Olaf, Anna, Sven, and Kristoff are staring into a fjord, likely somewhere in Norway. And the last scene for this first trailer is Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff. They are in the birch forest, likely near Arendelle. At the time, there is a lot of fog. Anna turns around and goes to attack something. In the second trailer, the first difference is Elsa swimming in the water and being confronted with a mythical knock, also known as a kelpie, hippocamp, and a water horse. It's important to note it's in Elsa's color scheme, in that their mythical duty is to allegedly guard the secrets of the forest using the power of the ocean. Knocks are also known to give rides across the ocean, so that may very well be how Elsa gets back from Iceland to Norway. After that, we see Grandpappy warning Elsa and Anna. We then see Elsa as a kid again, then Queen Iduna looking out a window at the northern lights, then Elsa is shown the knock and then the guardians in icy pixels. And then as said, they are heading north of Arendelle, past the North Mountain, likely to the Birch Fjord in Norway. Anna and Olaf are then shown canoeing down into what I assume to either be a volcanic pipe or a really strange water erosion cave. After that, the pink fire comes to likely the birch forest just north of Arendelle, as shown in the previous trailer. Next, Elsa is seemingly discovering more of her powers, and then is shown in Iceland with Anna clearing fog, revealing rocks labeled with the 4 elements. I assume those rocks to be gravestones of previous people with those powers. And after that, Elsa is shown hiding from a ground guardian, and that's all the trailers show. Beyond that, we have leaks from the crew who made Frozen 2. A quote from the co-writer, Jennifer Lee, is, "I think the big thing for me is we weren't going to do a sequel," and I was like, that story's done. But then one day, we just made the mistake of talking about something and going, oh my gosh, that's the thing we still haven't explored, and it's important. Then I spent time writing these journals as the girls. The head of animation also leaked that the second film will be set 3 years after the first, and a quote from them is, "It's an evolution and an expansion of the story of Frozen. Many of the questions raised in the first movie become the mysteries that our gang are trying to solve in this film. Why was Elsa born with her powers?" She also mentioned, "It's about Elsa and Anna searching for what actually happened to their parents. They're going to go beyond Arendelle." Anderson Lopez, writer of Let It Go from Frozen, said after watching the Broadway musical version of Frozen that had hidden folk replacing the trolls, she said she's thought a lot more about those hidden folk. That's all I'm going to say. Additionally, for this next movie, the writers had a psychologist study Elsa, Anna, and their parents to distinguish deeper character traits. There are also allegedly 2 new characters that were announced to be largely accepted by fans. Beyond that, we have hints that were included throughout Frozen 1. Namely, when Elsa is locked up by Hans, she is wearing handcuffs that were specially designed for her. As far as we know, the only people that knew about her powers was herself, King Agnar, Queen Iduna, Sven, Kristoff, and the trolls. In other words, either Agnar or Elsa herself had those specially designed to control her if she got out of hand, as it's unlikely they were made in the time she was gone. Additionally, a quote from Elsa herself is, "My power flurries through the air into the ground." which was part of Let It Go, as well as I am one with the wind and sky. Oh, and by the way, Kristoff is wearing what is likely Sven's mom. Another hint that Frozen 1 gave away is the color arrangement in how it connects to the story. Blue is Elsa's theme, and throughout is displayed for happiness, truth, and occasionally love. Red is associated as danger, gold comes with endurance and strength. In the trailer, pink is a color repeatedly shown. Its meaning by general definition is kindness, love, and purity. However, what we see is pink showing with scenes depicting fear and control. So what does all this mean? I expect 3 new characters minimum, 1 for fire, air, and ground each respectively. Elsa, having had said she is one with the wind and sky, one of the new characters that are expected to be largely accepted by fans is likely to be the wind power character. Elsa saying her powers flow through the air into the ground, the character with ground powers may be able to sense when she uses her powers, making that ground monster quite a threat indeed. Elsa and her family being looked into so closely and with hints from the crew, I'd say it's safe to say Elsa and her father's connection is going to be shown in much more depth. In this next movie, Elsa and Anna, Kristoff, Sven, and Olaf are all going to be in Iceland. As for the rocks surrounded by mist, I think those are graves of former people with those powers. In fact, Elsa's parents may have been in search for a way to help or cure Elsa's dilemma by meeting up with other people with powers, people that may have been looking to get as much info as they could for what plans they have in mind, yet to be carried out. And how would Ignar and Iduna know to look for them and where? In the scene showing Queen Iduna staring out the window at the Northern Lights, I can't help but wonder if this is a flashback to show her wondering about what else Grandpappy knew. He was knowledgeable of Elsa's powers and how to cure a frozen heart and mind. In the new trailer, he seems to let on that he knows lots about what dangers Elsa may be getting into. My guess is Queen Iduna may have decided to ask Grandpappy where she could learn more about Elsa's powers. It is worth noting though that the trolls may actually be made by a ground power character, not only because of them being made seemingly out of rock, but also that the runes book that the king used to find the trolls says the trolls from Dark Mountain Realm. And where do we see a dark mountain? Bingo. The truth lies in Iceland. What seems to be graves of people with powers, those graves are in Iceland. A knock which keep the secrets of the forest hidden is where? Just outside Iceland. Not only will we find out more about Elsa and her family and where her powers come from, but we'll also likely find out lots about Kristoff's adoptive family too. But that's not all. Those hidden folk mentioned earlier, those are based primarily off Icelandic and Faroe Island folklore. Hidden folk, otherwise known as elves, who are often paired with fairies in alleged encounters, are said by some to be invisible, unless you're born with the ability to see them. However, by others, hidden folk are said to have the ability to become visible and invisible again at will. There are thought to be 13 types of elves, some who are twice the height of humans, and others which are named flower elves. They are said to be just a few inches tall, and with the question of what is controlling the pink jumping fire from the trailer, my guess is it's an elf. Now, as for the question of how Elsa even got her powers, a quote from Jennifer Lee is, "We had this whole explanation like when Saturn is in this alignment with such and such, on the 1000th year, a child will be born and blah blah blah." The thing is, they dropped their ideas of including that and simplified it to born or cursed, with the end answer being born. In the book that King Ignar uses to find the trolls, it mentions that a troll had healing hands. That troll had gotten their powers from the moon or Rander's sky. A picture right beside the text depicts a possible heir to the throne or a king being healed from a frozen mind. One of the symbols in one of his memories is a heart. Logically, it would symbolize love. My guess from all of this is, this king or heir had a love interest that had ice powers. In some turn of events, he was struck and injured. Thankfully, he was saved by a troll in time. His memories were changed and the record of how to be healed was made. However, he either beforehand or afterwards had a child with this woman with ice powers, the natural next heir to the throne. My guess is that Elsa, through multiple generations, is the great-granddaughter of a former queen who had ice powers. Due to the alignment of Saturn and such while she was in the womb, she was born with those same powers, it being a story that the royal family would pass down the generations. Of course, Agnor would have known about the cure for a frozen mind after he got a daughter with those powers. The matter is, because Saturn and such was aligned, others with power-carrying blood would also receive those powers. The scene depicting those two younger ones, with one being fun in the air, that I assume to either be residents of Arendelle discovering the wind power character, or that is the great-grandfather and possibly the ice power great-grandmother meeting other people with powers way back in the day. Considering that King Agnor and Queen Aduna were searching for or found the secrets of the forest, them being killed by the power of the ocean by the knock is quite likely. How else that ends up getting back to Arendelle, my guess is because this knock is made of ice, it's possible she has the power to control it or destroy it. It may exist because of her great-grandmother trying to protect Arendelle. Once removed, all the other people with powers on Iceland can come to Arendelle to wreak havoc. Frozen 2 may be the final movie to the series, or it will set the base for another. Regardless, it is a movie to pay close attention to. It is set to be a great movie. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe. Know I will be putting updates in the comment section if I find out more information, so be sure to check that out. If you have questions or want to share excitement or really whatever reason, don't hesitate to leave a comment. Over and out.